The mad African-American has gone and done it. Elon Musk has bought Twitter, and by now I'm sure you're sick of hearing about it. As I imagine, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, literally everything is wall-to-wall coverage of this event. Yet, nevertheless, my overly inflated sense of self-importance will not allow me to pass the opportunity by without putting my 2 cents into the basket as well, because, well, this probably is the single most significant event in damn near social media history, if you skip over the creation of social media, I do suppose, because this is a paradigm shift, for better or for worse. Elon Musk buys Twitter at $54.20 per share, will become a private company. That alone is a massive tectonic upheaval in the social media sphere. A company the size of Twitter going private after having been made public is huge and gives Elon Musk an absolutely ludicrous amount of power, influence, and, well, good old-fashioned ability to determine reality, frankly. This is one of the criticisms we frequently level against the current-day tech giants. Google, for example, owning something like 96% of all smartphone searches. As I pointed out previously, if they decided one day that the moon was made out of cheese, you'd have a damned hard time trying to disprove it. And, well, now that kind of power is in the hands of Elon Musk, yet with even greater control as a private company. Brace yourself for literally thousands of rich man bad articles coming forth in the following few days. Musk free speech is the bedrock of democracy, and also, I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means. I mean, he's saying all the right things. Whether or not he means it, God, I hope so, but only time will tell. Musk adding new features, an open source algorithm. Now that latter one there is a big deal, as, well, here's the thing. Not only will we be able to see precisely what the algorithm, puts weight on, etc., which will undoubtedly lead to a lot of people trying to game the system then trying to game in reverse, etc., and it'll be a whole kind of arms race between people trying to analyze the code and the code trying to not be abused. And it might also lead to some interesting revelations. I would assume that Twitter is right now scrubbing its logs of any unfortunate mentions of certain algorithmic mishaps that may have favored one political side over the other over the years, since, technically illegal. But it'll be very interesting to see what exactly is up with that back end, even though what we will be shown will undoubtedly have again gone under the scrubber once or twice. Musk vows to defeat spam bots and authenticate all humans. Right, okay. That's something that does need to be discussed a little bit. How can he do this? Like the defeating of the spam bots, for example. Well, authentication is one way to do this, requiring people to prove that they are who they say they are before they are allowed to create an account. Now, I would hope that this wouldn't mean that they'd go the way of Facebook and have to have people post by their real names, because I don't really think it's particularly beneficial. The idea that this will somehow lead to a more civil society has been thoroughly defeated by the example of Facebook, which is still a flaming feces, yet with less people on it. Now, on the other hand, however, being required to authenticate that you are you to set up an account and perhaps deposit a nominal fee of like $1, for example, well, for us, it would be a minor inconvenience. For bot farms running thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of accounts, the minor inconvenience grows considerably at a rather distasteful pace. English is apparently a difficult language. I don't particularly mind. I wouldn't like it if it went the entire, 9 yards, required people to post on their personal names, etc., because, well, as a brand account, basically, it would annoy me greatly, first and foremost, but I don't think it'll really solve anything. On the other hand, if the only other real competitor is Facebook and it already operates by that standard, well, where I go, people going to go. There's already a lot of people going, oh, we must fight this. Even if Musk takes over, I urge people, especially resistors, to remain on Twitter for a very simple reason. Facebook is an aggressive propaganda machine for the far right. Absolutely. And the beliefs and ethics of Donald Trump, who incidentally is banned from the platform, but details. We cannot concede Facebook and Twitter in this war. Well, unfortunately, here's the thing. If you think Facebook is a machine for far-right propaganda, oh god. Oh my, you are not going to like Twitter and Elon Musk. As of course, there's been a lot of hilarious stuff. Like this is one of the favorites that have come up around this. You've got Elon there moving into Twitter with the Trojan horse of free speech. And Trump inside of it. This is unironically the modern day progressivist view of free speech. Like, oh my god, if anyone is able to say things, my political opponents might be able to speak without being censored. Oh no! What is this? The end of the Second World War? Will people be able to simply speak freely again? Oh, awful, terrible. As you also, of course, have, unironically, people with, you know, the usual taglines, I support the current cause, climate change, gun control, BLM, I stand with Ukraine, yada yada yada, you know the drill at this point, going, well, you know, Twitter is already an echo chamber, you see, and no one's really had to listen to different views. Oh my god, the left will no longer be able to spread their tolerance. Oh, yes. And right, let me just say as well, nominally, I am still on the side of ideally everyone should be able to say whatever they want. That is the point of democracy. It was the point of the internet, and it was the point of social media, to have clear and open discourse on all levels, both political and private. You know, ideally we would have a nice and civil society where people could be able to debate whatever ideas they wanted, even though a lot of those ideas would undoubtedly be ridiculous. I would, in an ideal world, see the hard, crazy far-left fascists argue with their Marxist equivalents, whilst everyone else just bumbles on over there talking about their dogs and cat pictures. That would be perfect. Yet, Elon, if you decided to, I don't know, keep Twitter's terms of service and all of that, all of the banhammer heavy stuff, but maybe just reverse it for a month or two. Oh, I wouldn't necessarily object. In fact, you know what? Serious argumentation time here. For the longest time, the right has argued that the only way the progressives will ever learn is if their methods are applied to them. And I genuinely do believe that is the only way they will understand what's going on. If you have people looking at Facebook and seeing an aggressive propaganda machine for the far right, they are so far lost in their own shielded progressivist bubble that only a good, solid smack to the face is ever going to be able to shake them out of it. And maybe, just maybe, Twitter as a private company under a based billionaire, there is an opportunity for that smack to actually finally materialize yet again. And I also guarantee you that we are going to be seeing a lot of news outlets, CNN, Wall Street Journal, the usual regressive ones, suddenly going, hey, you know what? Free speech is a very valuable thing, and we need to protect it, you see. We need to be able to express ourselves openly. Oh really now? Of course, there is also the alternative here, and then that is that none of this will actually happen. That for Elon, this is a simple investment. He has, I mean, you could certainly make an argument that he has very carefully nurtured his current day image as the based, badass millionaire on the edge. Millionaire, excuse me, Elon. Billionaire, of course, the world's richest man. A bit of a maverick, a bit of a wild card, but well, when you're to his size, how much of this is actually Elon Musk and how much of this is, again, the carefully cultivated public persona? Elon Musk doing this is going to see a tremendous rise in the value of Twitter. In fact, it already is. People are buying shares like crazy right now. It is growing, like, the value of Twitter has probably increased by, what, 10-20%? Already over the course of the last few hours due to the rumors of this happening. If Elon takes the company private and then brings back a lot of the banned personalities, he simply says like, okay, the ban list's just cleared. Unless you're, banned for an actual crime or something. Trump would return, other individuals would return, like Sagaruni, for example, might pop back on again. All of these banned individuals would be able to return to Twitter, bring their existing audiences, which have grown on other platforms in the meantime, and continue to grow their brands on the largest social media platform. It would see a tremendous increase in Twitter's traffic. And the handful of people, I support the current day thing with all of the correct little markers, etc., that are now going, I'm going to leave Twitter, you see, I will escape. Alright. Where are you gonna go? Truth Social? Gab? Of course not. Oh, you can build your own! Hey, there's the beautiful one! Well, if you don't like our regressive nonsense destroying all of your online spaces, might as well just build your own, eh? Or simply buy yours. That's an alternative too, as it turns out. Because the simple fact is, building your own is really gosh darn difficult, particularly when the entire mainstream apparatus is set on crushing you. Truth Social, Gab, BitChute, Rumble, all of these alternatives, like, we're not talking an upwards climb here, we're talking about 90 degrees on, with rocks falling on you on occasion from the precipice above. It just ain't that simple. In fact, it's a Sisyphean task that might very well be entirely impossible. But for Twitter could see, again, a dramatic rise in its users. Twitter could be a more popular platform than ever. Twitter could literally start a wave of actual free speech becoming a genuine, valued principle in modern-day society again. The potential worth of Twitter could skyrocket like nobody would have ever believed. It could be the social media platform. Like, already it is the social media platform. But 2 or 3 years under Elon Musk, everyone on the far left being forced to use it to respond e-girl to Trump's tweets, whilst everyone on the right and the center sign up as well. I mean, if then Elon Musk was to take the company public again after 3 or 4 years of just constant non-stop success, perhaps around I don't know, an election year maybe, people would be falling over themselves to inflate the value of the company, at which point Elon could simply go, well, my job is done here, dump his shares for an absolutely astronomical profit, and then fly his own personal spaceship to Mars. It's entirely possible that for Elon this is a simple investment, and again, he is saying all the right things, but whether or not he will implement them, I hesitate to remind you, but Jack Dorsey and even other founders of major social media platforms have previously said all the right things, yet never actually delivered on any of these promises. So whilst I do urge you to celebrate this, as it is potentially an incredibly good thing and could be literally the final blow in the culture war over long term, It could also be absolutely nothing. In fact, it could even be a potential detriment, since, do you remember, Elon Musk is the owner of an electric car company, and has therefore some rather strident views on global warming and all that, for example. But we'll have to wait and see for reality to begin setting in now that Twitter is owned by one single, very, very interesting individual. Till next time, I'm an Arch. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, of course, if you liked the video, please do consider leaving a comment and a like in the section below, and tell Elon to buy YouTube as well, because I can only see benefits in that at the very least. Hey, if you think Twitter is bad, have a look at YouTube someday. Until next time, have a good day.